Okay, so we've been getting some communications from parents about how the documents that we're uploading to Google Classroom just aren't displaying properly for the students. If you remember, we looked at a while ago the difference between uploading a Word document in comparison to a Google document and how much easier it is for the students to access the Google documents. So today I'm just going to try and show you exactly what things look like from a student's perspective when we upload certain documents, and hopefully end up with some idea of a way forward to make it easier for the students to see what we want them to see. So I'm just going to add a new assignment and add some files in this assignment. Now this is basically just a demo of Word and PowerPoint issues. Now before I upload anything, I just want to show you what it is that we're going to upload. So I've created 3 files and I've tried to make them interactive documents by saying, okay, we've got a task here which is asking students to label things in the right way. Oops, I'll try the other way around. And then put the callouts in the right places. So with this we can move the end of the pointer around, do what you need to do, and move stuff as you want to. Okay, so that was the document that I want them to work on. Down here you've got a drag and drop for the arrows to go between the different descriptions. So not going to save that, so let's close that. So that's the Word document, and in comparison to that I made exactly the same thing but in a PowerPoint. So this PowerPoint just gives you the same things, but again allows them to just move stuff around as they want, pulling the different descriptions around. Okay, likewise with this, the arrows can be moved and pushed where they want it. Again, I'm going to close it and not save it. The final one is another I suppose a text box document asking them to fill in the words that they need in the relevant place. So I just want to show you what it looks like from perspective of a student. Again, I'm not going to save that. So with this one, I'm going to add those documents. Now I have got them stored on my Google Drive, but I'm not going to click on Google Drive, because what that does is actually link the documents that I've got stored directly to this assignment. Now I don't want those documents to be mastered, as it were, by this assignment. I want to have a master copy, and I want to upload a copy of them to this particular assignment. So I'm going to do add file. So by doing add file, it makes a copy. By adding them directly from your Google Drive, it links them directly to those documents. And as you'll see in a minute, Google can mess Microsoft files up quite considerably. So I'm going to add from file. Let's grab those files just from File Explorer and drop them in, and then upload. So remember, that's made a copy of them now, and that copy, if I can show you in a second once it finishes, it's taken a while, that copy, if I now go to my drive and go to Classroom, when I go and look inside the staff demo, those files, once I've finished assigning this task. Now remember, always, if you want the students to be able to do some work on that file, give them edit permissions. However, as you'll see in a little while, the type of documents that they need edit permissions for need to be really simple, because it's just going to go horribly wrong in a minute. So let's assign that. Let's just give it a date. Okay. So whilst that's assigning, that will be uploading and copying those files across. So on the stream it now looks like this. You can click on the various documents. Notice it's got this little blue tag here. It doesn't, although it says Word, it doesn't really convince you it's a proper Word document with the Microsoft W or the Microsoft PowerPoint. And you'll see that isn't actually, well, they're not actually Word and PowerPoint documents anymore. So if we just go back and have a look at what's here now, those 3 files have been uploaded to the staff demo folder. Now, point in case, let me take you to the first one, the Word document. When I open it now, it's still exactly the same, allows me to move stuff around and do what I want. Okay, but what happens if I open this, and remember this is still me, if I open this in the Google View. So again, it's still sort of thinks it's a Word document, so it's opening because it's still recorded as a docx. So it's opening in this view without giving me any edit permissions. So the only way I and any student can get access to that is now say open in the new window, and again it looks exactly the same, and open with Google Documents. Now the moment I've done that, what's actually happening is it's simplifying the whole Word document into a Google-fied version of Word. And what I mean by that is when you're using Google Documents, it's a really cut down version of Microsoft Word insofar as it doesn't have half of the formatting or layout features. So it just does a version of almost like taking a picture of the things and limiting the complexity of those things to be usable within Google. So what we're seeing now is our new layout. As you can see, it's not quite the same. But it does appear that I can move stuff around just about. However, I've lost the ability to point my extender in the right place. What happens now is the whole thing either gets bigger or smaller. So again, because Google Documents just don't have that facility within the functionality of Google Documents. So it still works, but it's not very good. Now, as I said, it Google-fied my document when I opened that in Google Docs. So it's saved those changes. So I'll close that, come back out of that. So lots of clicking because it was a Word document. Go back into here now. Now, if I take you back to where we are in the staff demo in the actual file now. So if I open this in Word on my computer, you remember I said it's just been Google-fied because it's just saved that this second, which is driving me nuts a little bit, but you'll see what I mean in a minute. So now that I've opened this in Word, it's telling me it can't find it. I don't know why. That should open. There we go. All of a sudden, it's gone absolutely crazy. The hard work of laying it out in the way that I did just has gone. I can't click on things in the same way. Remember, I'm actually opening in this in Word. Stuff's all over the place. So this is why, part of the reason why when students open these files and then do something to them and close them and open them again, they're just going all over the place. So that's the Word document has gone crazy. Now if I open the PowerPoint, that seems quite reasonable, but I can't do any editing, so I've got to open in new window, and this is where it's going to simplify the whole thing. Now Google Slides is a bit more powerful than the documents, and it does keep a bit more of the functionality. So when I open with Google Slides, it's a little bit easier to use. So if you're going to make anything interactive, definitely worth sticking to Google Slides rather than Docs. So on this here, you can see I can still move this around, and if I look at that there, it even has the functionality of adjusting the pointer as well. So that's great. That's a lot better than the Word documents. And with these ones, I can still move them around and point them where they want. So that's all working great. Okay, so let me move that back. Okay, so let me close that. It's been saved. Come out of that again and go back to there. So we're pretty happy with what's going on with the PowerPoint. Now, what I'm going to show you is what these look like from a student's perspective. So let me take you to a student account. When we go into the group here, let's start with that document that I'd opened and Google-fied, and it all went absolutely nuts. And as you can see, it's even more nuts now. It's just all over the place. So what the feedback is that when we start to upload anything that's like a Word document, it's just not displaying in any shape or form in the way that we thought it was going to display when we first uploaded it. So that's a real issue, and we'll look at how we can get over that in a minute. When the student opens the PowerPoint, they've got no edit access, so they've got to do what we did: open the new window, open with Google Slides, and now they've got the same control that I showed you before. So that's a lot better within the PowerPoint opening in Google Slides to just allow them to do that level of interaction. But again, it's a lot better than Google Documents, but it's still not perfect in the way that it does it, but it does at least partially work. So coming out of that then, let me show you this last one. Now, we haven't opened this, we haven't Google-fied it. This is just the Word document. Remember, I had some text boxes in this one that we needed to fill in. Can't do anything until I open in a new window and then open with Google Documents. As you can see, this is a real faff, and you can imagine this, some of the students don't know what they're doing will just be completely disheartened with this. It just doesn't work. When I try and click in the text box, it asks me to do a drawing. I cannot type in there. All I can do is draw and change the size of it or something, but I can't actually type in there. So again, that's absolutely useless. So I think, as a way of advice, please try not to use Word documents at all. So what do we use then? Well, let's come out of that and go back to my File Explorer view. What we can do is, now if you remember, that's completely messed up now because it got Google-fied. So before we upload these things and then they get completely messed up, what you might want to do is just convert them all to PDFs. So easy way to do that is to open up your Word document and go File. Now, you won't get a Save as Adobe PDF, that's because I've got something else installed on this machine, but you'll normally just go File, Save As, go to Browse. It will try and save it in the same place, but instead of saving it as a Word document, save it as a PDF file and then save. So that will now display like that when a student goes on and reviews the work. Now, it's not interactive, they can't move anything around, but the point being here is that if you're trying to give them some information, some text that you want them to read, or some pictures, and you want it to lay out in the same way that you expect them to see it as the way you've created it, then you have to convert it to PDF as a quick and easy way of doing it. Otherwise, you've got to create the thing in Google Docs, which is absolutely limited and a lot of effort generally if it's already done in Word. So I'd recommend going to PDF. You can also go to PDF on the PowerPoint as well. Now, the PowerPoint wasn't such an issue, but again, if we open that, just show you quickly, File, Save As, Browse, change the file type to PDF and save again. And it'll give us a preview of that now. There it is, and it's just a scrolling page document, which it basically looks a lot like it did in Google Documents when it just presented the PowerPoint like that. So PowerPoint's less of an issue. Word documents are a real issue. So quick and easy way to resolve that is just to convert them to PDF and upload the PDFs rather than those documents. So when I go back to this assignment, I would edit this assignment now, remove those documents. I'm not going to give them edit options, and actually all the work I've done on trying to make it interactive for them has been a bit of a waste, but now I can say add, and I would do it from File. I wouldn't do it from if you've made it somewhere else, do it from File rather than doing it from inserting from a Google Drive, because this will link to them directly. But if they're PDFs, it's not a problem because they're not editable anyway. So put them in there. They're there. No point giving them edit access because you're not asking them to make any changes now. You're just asking them to review and read and save those. So that's about it. They can obviously print the PDFs if they had print facilities, but not everybody does. But it's a real bodge around to try and get this to be displayed for them and to give them what they need. So don't try and make anything interactive on Word documents. PowerPoints possibly, but good luck with that. It's a world of just trying to find workarounds to get this to work for the students at the moment. But that's part and parcel of the difficulty with being used to using Microsoft and creating all of these files in Microsoft, as opposed to creating them in Google Documents and Google Slides. But a workaround it is, and that's the best option I can give you, is go to PDF, and then at least they can view it in the way that it should be viewed. Anyway, let me know how you get on with that, and hopefully it will help the kids see what we want them to see. Thanks.